welcome to Women Daring Greatly. I'm your host, Andrea Ivanka, here with another episode because right now there is a global shift happening where women just like us are stepping into leadership roles, opening businesses, becoming entrepreneurs, and really redefining what it means to live, to love, to lead from a uniquely feminine perspective. And that's why we are speaking to powerhouse women, dynamic women, like my special guest today, Susan Shatzer, who are here to share their wisdom, their tools, their insights, and their strategies, what they did to step into their passion, follow their purpose, and really create a business that thrives, all while doing it from a uniquely feminine perspective. These are just some of the things that we're going to be diving into today with my special guest, Susan. Welcome, Susan.
Hi, thank you so much, Andrea, for having me. It's a pleasure and a blessing to be here with everyone.
For those of you that are meeting Susan for the first time, it really is a pleasure and a blessing for us to have her. She's got an incredible story. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She's an 11-time #1 international best-selling author and runs an extremely successful energetic coaching business. She's consulted with influencers such as Deepak Chopra, Mary Morrissey, Dee Wallace of ET and Cujo, Ask Theo with Sheila Gillette, Willie Robertson of Duck Dynasty, and Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank. A lot of names I'm sure most of you recognize. She's the executive producer and host of the Webby-nominated global TV series Unlocking Your Limitless Life with Susan Shatzer, where hidden inside your biggest problems truly are your greatest possibilities. Susan's a 2-time Elliott Award winner, the Global Visibility Faculty Member for CEO Clubs of Florida, is clear approved, and recently received the Business Acceleration Award at the Business Acceleration Summit in Orlando, Florida. So I'm thrilled about having you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. We are going to have a ton of fun today. It's so interesting. I'm in like a new office area, and I'm just looking at all the things you can see in the background. Like there's the cat tower, and there's my pink Victoria's Secret bag. I didn't do a very good job of like cleaning my background.
One of the things we're talking about is authenticity, and you know what? This is what it is. And actually, I can't even see it at all. So the way the lighting is, you're good. One of the things I'm super excited to dive into today is really, and you're the expert in this, is when we turn our biggest problems into possibilities. I mean, we're talking about women daring greatly, the rise of feminine consciousness around the world. And you are such a huge mentor for women to live their limitless lives. So how did your journey bring you to where you are today, making such a big impact?
Yeah, thank you so much for just like jumping off the diving board. This is
high dive. Right in.
Just start small at all. We're just going to like push you off the top of the deep end. Yeah, so it was incredibly interesting how my life unfolded. And, you know, you may be where I am now. You may be where I was then, or maybe this in the future. But one of the things that I found was like my life was not how I wanted it to be, not at all. Like I was in an abusive marriage. I was diagnosed with a chronic illness that you're not supposed to get better from. I was not able to work any longer, and we were a 2-family income household. My husband at the time was, not, I don't know how you say it, but he was just, okay, he cheated and, and he walked. And what I discovered was in asking questions, I had empowered myself. And it was my mentor, Andrea, who asked me, what, if this is what you've been asking for? And immediately I couldn't say yes and I couldn't say no. So I thought, wow, what is this? Not being able to say yes or no. And it was actually that there was, and everything's energy. Scientists tell us that the amount of energy that's here right now is the same amount of energy that was here when the universe was first created, that you can't destroy energy, it just transforms. So in looking at that, that actually means, so I'm energy with a body right now until I'm not, and then I'll be energy without a body. So that energy that is with the body right now and then is without a body in the future, actually has been here for the life of the universe. So there's been lots of places and spaces and things that I have done and been, and what showed up was this incredible gift. So I asked, if this is what I had created, and in doing muscle testing, I actually got a yes, that I had created this chronic illness. I had created the abusive marriage. I had created having an 8-month-old. At the time when I was diagnosed, I created my family living 8 states away. So what is the one thing that you cannot be judged for?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I've never had anybody ask me that one. Not knowing, maybe?
Yeah, well, yeah, that and like sickness, right? Because if
Mm,
you're sick, right? Like you didn't leave, walk out, you know, yeah, that kind of stuff. So it was where I couldn't be judged for being
gotcha.
sick. And then he left. So it was all projected on him. So we had all of this spinning trauma that was going on about deadbeat dad and sickness and in health until death do you part and all this kind of stuff. And then when we asked a question like, okay, what's right about this you're not getting? That was the gift. And
Mm,
that was my biggest problem. My biggest problem was like, we're on a 2-family income. Now we're on 1 income, not faithful, lying, leaving and walking out. And I'm in a trial drug study. And it's the month before my son turns 2. And he's like, I'm out of here. And it was the hardest month of my entire life, was those 30 days until my parents got down here for the next round of treatment. But I've got to share this with you, that it turned into our greatest possibility, Andrea, in that it was the gift that we required. Like I required him to leave. I required him
mm,
to not be a part of my life because I would not be able to parent the way
mm.
that I truly wanted to parent and knew that parenting would contribute to him.
Yeah.
And then also, we recently, he's 16 now, my son. So we recently had this conversation about, like, gosh, how different would our lives be if dad was still a part of it?
Mm.
And he just said, I don't think I'd be able to be the man I am now, had dad been a part of it all those years. So it was this knowing of, my life's not falling apart. It's falling into place.
Something that you said that I think is really powerful that I really want to draw attention to, because I don't know if everybody caught it. It was the questions.
Yeah.
When we are asked powerful questions that really have us search within for the answer, and how you said at the beginning, like you couldn't answer yes or no, which also means there was a shift from maybe blame or all of that. And then the next question your mentor asked you, that's powerful. When we ask ourselves questions that open us up to possibility, it really starts shifting the energy as well. So I heard that as you were sharing. Really, really fascinating.
Yeah, thank you. And, we can all do this. That's the cool part, is we can all ask these questions and we can use this to our advantage. And everywhere that we, decided that life was supposed to be a certain way or is a certain way, like is not that way. And it's not happening to us. We are creating this. We're just not willing to acknowledge that we're creating this trauma, drama, mystery, intrigue kind of a thing. And, with that gift, it empowered me and it empowered him, because so long, I was defending my rightness and I was up against him. So he had to defend his rightness. And it was this, like I'm right, you're right. And yeah. So we were just butting heads the whole time. So when I was willing to go, oh, you know what? Yeah, I created this. And like, what else is possible now? Like, okay, thank you very much. What I thought was this huge, big problem actually is my greatest possibility. And it has been. And now I'm willing to acknowledge it. And so when you get good at this, you're able to transfer things really fast. It's kind of like when something's showing up, you're like, wait a minute, this is frustration. This is anger, rage, fury, hate, blame, shame, regret, guilt. This is not joy. This is not gratitude. These are not the high vibrational frequencies that, actually creates the different possibility and the ease and flow and joy in your life. So fix it. That's one of the strategies my son and I use. I'm like, are you having fun right now? And he's like, not really, Mom. I'm like, all right, we got to fix this. What else is like, there's a different that's what frustration is. That's what anger, rage, for all that is. It's like, there's a different possibility there that you're just not willing to acknowledge and look at.
I love when we first connected and you shared that whole idea of, well, what if it could be fun? Like if things are not going the way I wanted them to, what if it could be fun? And just that concept, I mean, I love the word fun. It's got this sense of playfulness and energy with it. So it's, I think, not just as a word to use, it's actually a very powerful transformational strategy to shift yourself. What's been your experience with asking yourself those questions?
I kind of use it as a verb. Fun and party. Because so many, I mean, who wants to go to a workshop or a boot camp? You know what I mean? Or the blueprint, and, I mean, all those things are great. But, what would be fun? What if you came to a party and you left a different person? What if life, the way you knew it or how it's unfolding, like, actually isn't the truth? What if that's the lie that you've been living your whole life? And what if you're actually validating other people's realities of you and what you're supposed to do and what you ought to do and what you have to do, but that's not your truth? So what if that's creating the frustration as well? I've really found that out to be a lot when people, I'm like, so you're doing this and how much fun is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much. And I'm like, okay, so like, what would be fun for you? What would you like to change? How could this shift? What would be a better, greater possibility?
So as you're listening, I mean, pause that, go back and write those questions down. Those are power questions, right? Because it's true. Like, we're looking at how many women are watching this show are already entrepreneurs, or, they've got something going on the side and something's been bubbling up inside of them that they want to go create something. And yet, I'd be so curious to hear your thoughts on this. Sometimes I feel like that extreme, I'm going to say masculine energy around, like, it's got to be that blueprint, that 6 steps, that this. And I just watch these women get all wrapped up in, it's got to be a certain way. And all of a sudden, all the joy and sparkle that they had in this offering that they wanted to create has gone. Have you found that? Like, when, I don't know, like, there's this shift where playfulness just disappears when it becomes I have to.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, one of the shows I do is all about that concept right there, about play, because we got to a certain point where we were told to, straighten up and fly right. And, you're old now, you have responsibilities, and, that was for babies, and you're a big boy now. And from big boy, you went to like young man, and young man, you went to like big man. You know what I mean? It was like this whole kind of thing. It was like this craziness where, we actually were told to like give up play. It's like, oh, those are baby toys. Oh, you used to play with dolls when you were younger. It's like, there are things that are still a lot of fun, like eating dessert first. Right?
I love that.
When have we given up? Like, it's so funny. There was 3 girlfriends and I, and we all had kids, and we got together and we did a sleepover, a mom's sleepover, and our kids just came along for the ride, right? And so one of my friend's daughters turned to her and says, you're like the weirdest women. Like, no mommies do sleepovers. Only kids do sleepovers. I'm like, but how much fun did we have, right? It's like, all right, kids, yeah, here, go watch this movie, do whatever. And like, we got to have a mom's, wine and cheese and cracker, and, and we all slept over together. It was so fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I totally agree. I think I shared this with you. I was just doing a leadership course down in California, and we had people flying in from all over the world, and we were Airbnb-ing together. It was like having a massive sleepover for like 4 days. So I'm totally with you on that one.
Yeah, it's fun. You get to stay up late, and you don't have to follow the rules of everybody says, this is your bedtime, and you have to do this and you have to do that. And I put that in air quotes because, all those have tos, like, they actually got established as rules, rights, and responsibilities. And like, who made them up anyways?
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm so curious about, right? This was not one of the questions that I had on here, but just as we're talking about it, you talk about everything being energy and then having fun and play. So if we're also talking with Women Daring Greatly about stepping into purpose and profits and all of these things, how does abundance fit into the mix? Because I know a lot of us have been taught that the only way to be successful is through struggle. So what are your thoughts on that? Like this whole, it's got to be hard.
Yeah, that is an incredible point of view. And that's all it is a point of view. And you probably bought it from someone. And that's what I do when I coach with people. It's like, okay, so who does that belong to? Mom, dad, family member, someone else? Was it a coach, a teacher, a mentor, a neighbor, right? Is it one of your friends, your influencer? And, you know, because that's not true. If that was true, then that would be true for every human being at all times.
That's a very good point.
So it's like gravity. This is where the truthometer that I kind of teach people with. It's like gravity. No matter where you are on the planet, no matter who you are, it's like you throw something up, it's coming back down. So like old age is not the same all over the planet. We discovered that in one of our masterminds. We have a group coaching thing. You talked about struggling with money. Yeah. And, you know, to make more money, you have to work more, right? That point of view is not actually true for everyone. And all of this, you know, stuff that they have with business, like there's a different possibility available to us. We've just never been able to ask the question that has unlocked what that is for us. So I kind of ask people, you know, is doing an email, because, you know, the whole email campaign and nurturing sequence and social media, and these are the days you're supposed to send it out. And these are the days and times, you know, when you're not. And, you know, there's all these rules and regulations. It's like, you know, what if being you changes the world? And let go of all the points of view. Like money doesn't grow on trees. Andrea, guess what money's made of? Paper. And guess what?
I know, I got it. That was actually really funny.
Yeah, I bet there's a ton of these. It is. It's like, you know, marry the money and the love will come.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's like money is the root of all evil. Hello. Do you want to be evil? No. Then you can't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I have a tool for that. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So you're going to want to grab a pen and paper and write this down. So what if your point of view was, I have, because I am and I have is current. At the moment, it's present. It's not the past. It's not the future, because both of those don't exist. Only the present right now exists. So I have more than enough money and always too much to spend.
I got to actually write this down as you're doing it.
Go ahead. I have more than enough money and always too much to spend. And with that point of view, you will have more than enough money and always too much to spend. Now that, you know, to get that activated in entirety, you'll want to have that reflect in your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So if you're saying this, but then you're going, oh, I have more month and I'm at the end of my money. Or money pays the bills. So every time you get more money, guess what you have to create if that's your point of view? More bills.
More bills.
Yes. So all of these things we picked up from other lifetimes, from other family members. It's been passed down from heritage. If you hear yourself saying that that's the way we've done it, that's the way we've always done it, that's the way our grandparents did it, and they got it from their grandparents, we got it from their grandparents, we got it from their grandparents, and now it's not actually working in this reality. Like we have a whole new paradigm shift that's coming up. It's like all of that stuff worked then, and it worked really well, and it saved you, and it kept you safe, and it, you know, you needed it and required at the time, but it's still running in your field. It's still running in the background. And that's what we've got to get rid of and dump.
Yeah. And this is something that I'm seeing exciting, because more and more people are talking about this. You know, we know at this point that the internal piece of transformation is equally as important, if not more so, than outer tactics and strategies. So in your experience with working with people, what have you seen are maybe some of the red flags where, okay, it's really time for you to do the inner work, like stop messing around. The universe is waving red flags at you.
Yeah. Well, what I recommend to people is, you know, we're all frequencies. So like color has a frequency. Our organs in our body have frequencies. The healthy organs have frequencies, and the organs that are not healthy have frequencies. Our food has frequency. Music is acoustical vibrational frequency. So all of that has to do with who you are and how you show up in the world. So like attracts like here. So if you're of high vibrational frequency, so it's more often than not, your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are higher. And the highest one is gratitude. Gratitude and thankfulness is just below God consciousness. Everything else below that is a lower vibrational frequency, going all the way down to anger, rage, fury, hate, blame, shame, regret, and guilt are the lowest ones. If you have any of those whatsoever coming up, know that you're dropping your vibrational frequency. And so what do you attract to yourself is equal to the frequency that you are.
Yes.
So if you'd like to have higher vibrational relationships, higher vibrational money flows, higher vibrational experiences and adventures, then you are going to want to work on and have access to and change, because it's all a decision. It's all a choice. You can change and go for the higher vibrational frequency, thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and eliminate anything else. Or, you can stay anywhere in between, and then know that there's a modality out there. They're all phenomenal. There's a modality out there that will match your frequency. So no matter where you are, what you're doing, something will show up in your reality. You'll get an email, a postcard, a friend will mention something to you. You'll see something on Facebook and go, oh, that looks interesting. That is your higher self saying, hey, now's the time. Let's get this party started. Whatever that takes, do that. And then know that as your vibrational frequency raises, more things are going to come in. That there's not like a one-stop shop necessarily. It's not like EFT or emotional healing or any of those kind of things is better than another thing. It's like everyone will resonate at the frequency in which they are, and then they can choose as their frequency changes to, create a different possibility with a different modality.
I love that you said that, because that actually opens up the energy, right? It actually shows there is such an abundance of finding something that is going to match you where you're at that point in time. And for me, when I hear somebody say that, that's very exciting, because it's not just, okay, follow my process, my 6 steps, because I don't really believe in that per se, because I do believe we're all very unique and we need things at different times in our life. So I absolutely agree with that point.
Yeah. And for me, competition is a limitation. Contribution, right, is expansive. When you think about the words that we use, if you feel contractive and you feel like you're, closing in on yourself, then know that that's the lie that you've bought into. Anything that's expansive is the truth. So when I say the word competition, don't you go like,
yeah, literally. Yeah, you can feel
right?
it.
And when you say cooperation and contribution, right, don't you feel like, yay, that's fun, let's do that, let's meet up, let's co-create that together.
Yeah,
that's the expansive. That's true. So we're shifting into that. And women, of course, we're all over it. We got this whole thing.
Well, we are, and this is part of with all the women rising up and stepping into this place of collaboration, co-creation, all of that. So let's talk then tactics and strategy. Let's talk outer for a second then. If we're talking about collaboration, what is one practical tip that you've seen that really has helped you step into that collaborative space and allowed you to grow your business? Because you've done incredible things with your business.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah, well, I look at it this way. It's kind of like, and I was told pretty recently, in the past 2 to 3 years, that when I used to be coaching one-on-one, and then I sort of was kind of tapped on the shoulder and told, this is the amount of influence you have with one person. I'm like, well, that's a lot. Look at that big change they made. Check that out. Like, this is awesome, right? And they're like, but let us show you the change that you can make when you work with groups. And I was like, okay. So I was like all humble, like, let's go meet at the kitchen table. I'll get my coffee. And they did. And they showed me this quantum, huge shift. And I was like, whoa, how's that possible? And they're like, group coaching. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about group coaching, because I love my one-on-ones and I love, getting in there. And they're like, yeah, okay, you could still do that. I'm like, okay, you show me how to do that and we'll do it. So I've been group coaching, and then, I only have a couple slots left with primary people. But what happens is everyone brings their biggest problem. Like, what's the big thing that you have got to change right now? What's the stumbling block? What is your speed bump? Where is your hazard sign? What's going on? It could be in any aspect of your life. We all come together and we mention what that is. And then what I do is I facilitate through questions a different change. And I trust that I know that everyone who's there that day or in that group are all vibrationally compatible with the shift in the change that's going to happen. So in 1 hour, instead of one person receiving the shift in the change, like we get, 10 or 12 others. So you not only have yours, but you have everybody else's that you also receive. What happens is when we unlock this, Andrea, we let people let go of them having to validate it in our life. So an example would be like for me, when I was like, oh my God, you are such a gift, to my ex-husband, like, I am so grateful for you. Like, you chose what worked for you instead of being an obligation and responsibility to me and to your son and to the, marriage thing. And what showed up was like this incredible different possibility. And it's like that with all these people, because when you drop your barrier, they have nothing to stick to. They've got nothing to butt heads up against. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to hold on to their rightness or wrongness or, whatever that happens to be, good and bad, and they can let it go too. And so what happens is we start freeing up, hundreds of thousands of other people that have helped us lock it in place. It's energetically, it's like, do you remember those card houses we used to make with kids, and we would get 2 cards and we put them together, yeah, and then we'd lay a row on top and then we'd do another row? Yeah. Well, these are our problems, and they're really big, and we've had them for a lot of lifetimes, our whole lives. They're, you need like, ladders to get up to the top, you can't see around the sides of them, kind of a thing. And we go in and we pull out the bottom card in the middle, and the whole problem collapses.
House of Cards falls.
Yeah.
I love that. That is such a beautiful analogy. So a lot of what I heard going on in there is, again, collaboration, leverage, ripple effect, and leadership. It's really a lot of what I'm hearing under them. So when it comes to where the question began with practical, tactical, I mean, there's really this beautiful effect that comes from coming together and allowing yourself to serve in a bigger way. So
we're over 7 million people, Andrea, on the planet. Like, there's no lack of people.
Yeah.
The lack of people, like not enough clients, not enough money, is all in here.
Yeah.
All in this. When you trust that, look, your vibrational frequency is going to attract those that are ready for you. They're looking for you. They're ready. They're waiting, and you step up. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Incredible.
It's a lot of fun. So we're pretty much getting to the end. We've got like just a couple minutes left. So I'd love to ask, is there something that, we didn't discuss yet that you'd love to add to the interview that you really feel would bring some value to the viewers?
Yes. I have one of the top things that I work on with people constantly, because it's something that even in the face of awareness, some people are still not able to let that go. And it's the word want. W-A-N-T. It's my 4-letter word. All those 4-letter words that your parents used to get mad about, yeah. The cursing and swearing. It's the 4-letter word. In fact, it's even more damaging than the curse words. W-A-N-T, want. It got changed on us in 1946. If you go back and look at the dictionary, Andrea, you'll see that the whole column of definition is all about lack, not enough, less than. Get to the bottom and it'll say desire and have, that kind of a thing. So that got changed on us. And then this huge propaganda campaign came out, and it was, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want for dinner? Tell me what you want. Use your words. What college do you want to go to? Where do you want to go on vacation? What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday? So we use the word want so frequently, so often. Everything's energy, and the universe speaks energy. It doesn't speak English, Spanish, none of that. The universe source speaks energy. So when you are looking at the vibrational frequency of words, the word want is the one that is the lock, because we use it so often. And even in the face of having the awareness that it is creating lack, because when you say, I want more money. you're actually saying to the universe, I lack more money. So God, the universe is like, okay, cool. So here you go. Here's some more lack of money.
Yeah, here's more want.
It shows up. Yeah. And I want more clients. And I want more, whatever you want more of, you actually get more of that lack. Yeah.
So what do you use instead? What do you use instead of want then? Because just as you rattled off how many places we use it, I got hyper aware of where it's infiltrated in very everyday uses of language. So what do you use instead?
Yeah, so it's going to be I have, I am, and I have. Because want is future. Because if you want something, then you can never have it because it's always in the future. It's always away from you when you want it. So in order to create it as the now, you have to have it. So I have amazing. I have incredible. I have, magnificence, opulence, whatever words feel really light for you, but use the word I am and I have. And those are your power words.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I know we could go on about this for a really long time. You've also got something really powerful for our audience today, a wonderful free gift, which is about visibility, something that you are amazing at. You know what? Maybe if we do a second version of the show, we can talk about visibility and stuff. But I know you've got this for them today. It's 12 free visibility resources so that you can have the life you'd really like to live. Tell us a little bit about what that is.
Yeah. So in being an executive producer, host, and having an energetic coaching business, I was always, and I was starting out, I was like, okay, so we need this for social media, and we need that for email, and we need this for this and that for that, and this for marketing. And I was just going crazy because there's, 50 things for this and 50 other things, all these choices. And so I was like, holy cow. So I said to my team, I'm like, what would be most helpful, most dynamic? And they said, look, put down, 10, top 10 or 12, different resources. So that's what we did. We created a list for you. There are 12 free resources. Not only we're giving to you them for free, but they are free to use, which is key. And they're in all different areas of your business. And this was the keys that I wish I had when I was first getting my business started, or also when I was transitioning, when I was going from full-on coaching, and I was adding the producing business with the TV show. And then we were transitioning into also being on YouTube. I wish I had those all in place at that time. So those are the 10, or those are the 12 that I recommend. And you have to have this list, whether it's now or in the future. You absolutely positively have to have it, and you have to share it with your friends. This is part of, co-creating and contributing. And, it's not just about you, but it's like, if I have an idea and you have an idea, then we both have two ideas. Versus if I only have one idea, then I only have one idea. And that's lack.
And it comes down to generosity of spirit, right? So thank you for sharing that. You'll see all the details on the screen below on how to actually access that so that you can use it, share it with your friends. And if people want to find out more about you, connect with you online, where should they go, Susan?
We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're on all of them. LinkedIn, any of the social media areas, highly, highly recommend. Just, you can, message, whatever's easier for you, whatever you can do on your phone, whatever you have in your hand right now that you're watching this on, go there.
Beautiful. I want to thank you for joining us for this episode of Women Daring Greatly, Susan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Thanks for having me. Enjoy. Best of luck, everyone. Bye for now.
Alrighty. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us for this episode and for joining us for Women Daring Greatly, where we are providing you with inspiring stories, powerful ideas, and practical strategies to help you step into your purpose, spark your passion, and yes, accelerate your profits. I'm Andrea Ivanka, your host, and we'll see you on the next one.